Hello, my name is Robert Davies, Product Manager for Meiser Filtration Products. I'm very excited to talk to you today about CryoVault, the end-to-end platform solution for interfacility storage and transfer of bulk drug substance. So before we discuss the solution, let's review some of the challenges currently on the market. Cryo vessels, which have been traditionally used for the interfacility storage and transfer of bulk drug substance, are very expensive to buy, and they're also very expensive to maintain. There is a lot of expense going into the training in order to upkeep and maintain these cryo vessels. On the other end of the spectrum, we have single-use bags. Single-use bags may be more affordable, but they do lack robustness, especially at frozen temperatures. Additionally, there is a limitation as to how much volume a bag can contain because of its weight. Lastly, we do have the issue of uncontrolled rate freeze and thaw. Most end users, when they freeze bulk drug substance, use a set point freezer that reduces the rate of freezing and therefore can cause adverse effects to the protein within the bulk drug substance. The solution that was created to address these challenges comes in two parts. The first part is the consumable. As a single-use solution, this consumable not only needed to be robust, but it needs to be scalable, as well as provide the operational flexibility to adapt to several operational paradigms. The second part of this innovation is the platform. This platform needs to be able to have the capability of freezing and thawing, as well as connect two sites with shipping and distribution solution. And of course, we also have a lot of material handling equipment that will be able to support every single process within the freeze-thaw operation. Shown here is the process overview of freeze-thaw operations as it relates to CryoVault. This platform provides a complete end-to-end system for the entire process, inclusive of the single-use assemblies, freeze-thaw infrastructure, and all material handling equipment, as well as an integrated shipping container for the distribution of that bulk drug substance between your drug substance site and your drug product site. This process starts with the initial filling of that bulk drug substance at the drug substance site and ends with the dispense of that bulk drug substance at the drug product site. As we continue this discussion, we will review each of these different process steps and discuss how CryoVault can support each of these different processes. The CryoVault platform features three different container sizes: the 6-liter container, 20-liter container, and a 100-liter container. All container sizes possess identical features. In addition, the TopWorks tubing is readily customizable to adapt to your operational paradigm needs. The CryoVault platform designed around these BDS containers. Ideally, a platform will ensure that every part of the process is supported. First, a freeze-thaw equipment that can support both freeze and thaw functions within this process. Secondly, shipping equipment that can provide support for the interfacility distribution of the BDS containers. And lastly, a suite of material handling equipment that's been custom designed around the shape and size of these BDS containers to ensure its utmost care during transfer and transit. Now let's discuss a lot of the features around the container's design. First is the shroud. The shroud primarily acts to protect the tubing, especially under frozen conditions. Secondly, it provides headspace insulation, which we'll discuss more in a moment. The body of the container possesses a lot of features that lend itself well to structural integrity. First is the network of ribbing that acts to reinforce the wall of the container against any pressure buildup that may occur during freezing. Secondly, we also have a series of reinforced counterbores. This adds as extra protection when the container interacts with material handling equipment, especially under frozen conditions. Lastly is the wall thickness. These containers are rotationally molded and have a wall thickness of about 1/4 inch thick. The CryoVault platform features a rate-controlled air blast freeze-thaw unit. The air blast freeze-thaw unit was designed with the container shape in mind. The container shape maximizes the surface area to volume ratio, and when combined with the air current within the freeze-thaw unit, increases the rate of freeze and thaw to better protect the protein within the bulk drug substance during freeze and thaw operations. The ice bridging number was developed as a mathematical means to explain the way liquid freezes in the BDS container. Ice bridging occurs when frozen material encapsulates liquid during the freezing process. The remaining liquid is trapped from all sides, limiting the space needed for the liquid to expand when transitioning into the solid phase. This, in turn, may cause pressure to build up within the container. Pressure buildup during freezing can have adverse effects on the container's integrity. Previously, we mentioned the container shroud as providing insulation to the headspace of the container. This headspace insulation slows the rate of heat transfer at the top of the container relative to the body of the container. The liquid in the body of the container will freeze faster from the bottom up, leaving the last point to freeze at the interface between the headspace and the top of the frozen material. A way of showing ice bridging can be seen from the series of thermal images below, comparing controlled rate freezing to uncontrolled rate freezing. When looking at the 12-hour point within the uncontrolled run series, you can see a last remaining portion of the liquid that remains unfrozen. This portion of liquid is almost fully encapsulated by frozen material that has bridged over the top. In contrast, we now look at the 14-hour point within the controlled run series. Here, the last point to freeze is located at the top of the frozen body of material, with the remaining liquid showing a meniscus-like shape. Controlled rate, air blast freezing with the BDS container avoids the ice bridging that would normally increase the risk of container integrity issues. When performing temperature mapping studies, the last point to freeze can be used as a means to determine freeze-thaw rates by positioning a thermocouple probe at this location within the BDS container. Shown here is a dataset gathered from temperature mapping a full pallet containing 4 100-liter BDS containers. The results show that a total of 300 liters can freeze in nearly 17 hours. As mentioned previously, all 3 BDS containers share identical features and functions that act together to help preserve the quality of the bulk drug substance. One last but notable feature is the shared width of the containers. The freeze path length is a term used to describe the distance by which the liquid will freeze starting from the edge of the container, which we indicate here as also being the width of the container itself. While the 20-liter and 100-liter containers share an identical freeze path length, the 6-liter container was designed to have half the freeze path length. Regardless of the freeze path length, the operational paradigm of the CryoVault platform ensures consistent freeze-thaw performance across all form factors of the BDS containers. Thank you for listening. I'm Rob Davies, Product Manager for the CryoVault platform. If you wish to know more about CryoVault, visit miser.com/CryoVault.